Hey everybody, I'm Rich G.
And I'm BJ Flagg, and this is episode 347, Recruit the Perfect Candidate Without Going Insane. Okay, Rich, impossible. This is impossible, and you have to totally convince me that this could even happen.
Yeah, I get it from both sides with my clients. I get,
Do.
people that own businesses going, I can't find any good people. I can't
Yeah.
find anybody. And then on the other side, people are like, they're having me do 7 or 10 interviews and tests and reports and then they ghost me. So,
Yeah, and then it goes to you. Well, let's get into it because these are tips that I think people overlook.
yeah. Well, good morning and welcome back to the Small Business Show, where we transform workplace challenges into triumphs. Today, we're diving into a topic that makes even the calmest managers sweat: recruiting the perfect candidate without losing your mind.
Whether you're a seasoned executive or a budding entrepreneur, finding the right fit for your team can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack on a windy day. But fear not, we have got some foolproof steps to keep your process streamlined and sane.
So let's jump right into our action packed show with 4 crucial steps to master your recruitment game. BJ, why don't
Oh,
you start us off?
I will. I will. Step one, define your ideal candidate. I know this sounds kind of wacky, but before you even post your job listing, take a moment to clearly define what your ideal candidate looks like. Like, just really on a piece of paper, just in your mind, like, what's that ideal thing? This is not just about skills and experiences. Consider their personality, their work style, and how they fit into your company culture.
Yeah. Too many
You know?
people, too many companies like just, yeah, throw up that technician job description again. And they just throw up the same old stuff every time, yet their needs might have changed. And then when people come in, they're like, well, that's not what we're really looking for. So,
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of the things that you've got to do is list the must-have skills and qualifications. Obviously,
yeah.
that's got to be in there, but don't go too crazy. Quality over quantity. I also need you to determine the personality traits that align with your company's culture. Be realistic with them. If they're an introvert, they're looking for something specific. So make sure at this point do that. Prioritize what's absolutely essential versus nice to have, and say it in the description. That is such a big thing, right, Rich?
Yeah, too many people read job descriptions and get the feeling that they have to satisfy all the criteria. And
Yeah.
that's not the case. Make a list at the start of here are the must-haves, and then here are the nice-to-haves. It's like we need for entry-level position 10 years experience. Wait a second. You know, it's entry level. But I see it all the time in job descriptions, and companies just pump this stuff out all the time. So, it's prioritize what you need, but quality over quantity. You want to get the
Yeah,
right person in.
absolutely.
Well, step two, streamline your interview process. And this is so key. A lot of companies and a lot of people think, well, they're performing for me. And they forget that the company needs to perform for the interviewer too. A clunky, inconsistent interview process can scare away top talent and ultimately drive you crazy. Streamline your process to be efficient and reflective of your company's values.
Yeah. And before we got on the show, Rich and I were talking about the bad interviewers, the ones that are just monotone. They're going down a script, they're
Yeah.
asking. It's horrifying. And the script is 10 years old. Oh my gosh. No, I don't know how to use a fax. So it's important for sure.
Absolutely. Well, there are some action steps we want you to take for this step. Number one, use the same criteria and questions when evaluating all candidates. It gets kind of weird when you keep changing up the questions, you keep changing up things, you're not comparing apples to apples at that point. You might be interviewing people differently. Second, incorporate practical tasks or challenges relevant to the job. Give them a quick test. I hate it when companies give people, spend 6 to 8 hours putting a presentation together. I
Right.
expect to pay that person for that. But there's so
Yeah,
many companies that just expect you to do it for free. And it's like, you can give them a quick test. That's fine. Something that
yeah,
takes 15 minutes. But if it's any more than an hour, you should pay them. And then
yeah,
finally, ensure timely follow up with candidates post interview. This is so important. Companies just drop the ball. Keep them in the
totally.
loop. This is when you lose the best people because I'll be honest, the best people are interviewing at other places. And if you are not following up in a timely manner and you're not keeping them in the loop and saying, okay, we'll get back to you by tomorrow, and then this is
Right.
the next step, this is the next step, you're going to lose them and go, why can't I find any good people?
Yeah. And just the idea that who ghosts the most, it's the company. The
Yeah.
company's the ghoster. So don't go sitting there blaming it on the candidate. Oh my gosh. Keep on that schedule. Step three is leverage technology. This is a really big thing, and people don't take advantage of it. Use, technology to your advantage. Technology can simplify many painstaking parts of the hiring process, from AI driven platforms that sift through the resumes to video interviews that can save travel time. There's just so many things that can be done. Rich, are you seeing anything kind of revolutionary that's happening right now?
Yeah, there are too many companies that they'll get a phone call, they'll put a job description out, they'll get a phone call in, and instead of doing being prepared and saying, "Hey, do you have 15 minutes? I'd like to talk to you for a second," and doing a pre-interview just to understand, is this person even worth it? Um,
Yeah,
that's something, and people calling up should be prepared for that. But
right,
yeah,
right.
using Zoom and other things to help you make the interview process faster and easier, it's so important.
Oh, for sure. And I think what's great is if they'll grant you permission to record so you can be active in the meeting, and then afterward listen through and listen to what the person had to say. And then you'll do your follow-up from there. But a couple of really good action steps are: implement applicant tracking systems. Absolutely, it's available even to the smallest company. Please do this. This is so important. Use skill assessment tools to gauge candidates' abilities automatically. You can make very quick 5-minute little snippets that can help people, you'll immediately know. And also just take advantage of video conferencing for that initial screening. There's so much to be said for seeing the person, how comfortable they are, their countenance. Nowadays we're all on Zoom all the time. So
Yeah.
they should have their Zoom look going, and just get a feeling for them right away. They should be pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple things like for skills assessment, you could have them take a quick little test. I tell a
Yeah.
lot of companies to take the emotional intelligence test just to get a good feel for
Yep.
your applicant's emotional intelligence. Sometimes, the simplest thing is to say, I'm going to send you an article. I'd like you to read it. And then if we could discuss it during the interview, that's going to tell you so much about the person. First of
Oh my
all, did
gosh,
they
so
read it?
much. Yeah.
Did they
Did
read
they
it?
read it?
Did they understand it? Can they
Did they
talk
read
about
anything
it?
else to add to it?
Yeah, and
Yes.
so many people, I have a client that does this. I told them to do this, and
Yeah.
they said 50% of the people forget to read the interview and they wing it. And that
Yep.
tells me a lot, that
Yeah.
right there, that they're going to wing their work. And
Yeah. Yeah. That
it's
happens.
easy. Just pick like a Harvard Business Review article or an article, hey, about your industry, like where is AI going in your industry? I'd like you to read this article. I'd like to talk to you about it during the interview. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That saves you so much time for open-ended question time. When you have a
Absolutely.
focus like that, I think it's the best thing ever. Hey, let's dig into the next one.
Yes. Number four is probably the most important one, which is trust your gut.
Yeah,
After all the technicalities, the job description, the applying, the interviewing, don't forget the human element. Sometimes the best candidate on paper isn't the best fit in reality. Trust your instincts about who feels right for your team. And that's so important. I always say trust your gut on,
yeah,
like, if somebody doesn't feel right or you just get a feeling, most of the time you're right. You're really right. People go, "Oh, I made a mistake." No, you didn't.
yeah. No, you knew.
So, well, here are some action steps. Number one, reflect on the candidate's potential long-term fit within the team. And that's important, not the short term, the long term. Is this person going to really fit in the team? Or is this person a jerk? Or is this
Yeah,
person get an introvert and you have all extroverts? Or do you have all introverts and they're an extrovert? You have to see what the fit is. Number
yeah,
two, consider team feedback from those who interacted with the candidate. Have some of your people interview too, because sometimes your people see things that you don't see. And they bring it up and you're like, "Oh my God, I didn't even see that." And then
yeah,
finally, number three, don't rush. If something feels off, it's okay to pause and reconsider. Re-interview if you need to. Bring them in again. Say, I need you to come in one more time and really get to know them. It's kind of funny. One of the best questions I always asked during an interview wasn't during the interview. When I would meet them in the entryway and bring them to the conference room for the interview, I'd
yeah.
ask them one simple question. I'd go,
Oh no.
as we're walking, I would say, "Any trouble finding us?" And the people that went, "Oh my God, there was so much traffic. I got here like 2 minutes like blah blah blah." That told me a lot about them versus the person that went, "Oh no, I didn't have any problem at all. Actually, I was here 15 minutes early and I was sitting in the parking lot." Two totally different people. And I asked that innocuous question and it told me so much about them.
Right, right. I'm writing that one down, Rich. That was a good one. Let's dive into some resources. To dive deeper, we recommend two fantastic books that are must reads for any hiring manager. First up, Who? The A Method for Hiring by Jeff Smart and Randy Street. This book offers a systematic approach to hiring that's sure to help you pick out the winners every single time.
Yeah, I always find the A method for hiring great. I recommend it to a lot of my clients when
Yeah.
they
You
have
don't
an
have to do
interview
the
on
whole
it.
thing. You can do parts of it.
Exactly. The second book is by Jeff Hyman. It's called Recruit Rock Stars. And this gives you the inside scoop on finding and keeping the best of the best. And it's not only finding, but keeping the best. So it really helps you recruit, but also keep rock stars. So it's a great book.
Yeah. Well, hey, this has been an awesome show, Rich. Great ideas. Recruiting the perfect candidate doesn't have to be a hair pulling ordeal. You convinced me. These steps and resources, everyone is well on their way to building a dream team that drives success.
Yeah, a hair pulling ordeal for me is fairly quick. So it works that way. So, anyway, that's a wrap. We invite you to share this episode with your friends on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok with the hashtag the best small business show.
Thank you for tuning in. If this episode has been valuable to you, don't miss out on future insights. Subscribe, follow, and share with other budding entrepreneurs who can definitely benefit from it. Your support helps us reach more people and have an even bigger impact.
And if you want to learn more and talk to our team, contact BJ at newrenew.com and find me at richg.com.
Thanks to our editor and producer, Richard Scalzo. Have an unbelievable week and catch you later.